All right, week 18, we got a conference rivalry here with the Bears and the Packers. So the Bears are out of the playoff picture, but Green Bay is not. Green Bay is favored by 3, and the model is mixed on this one. I'm going to take Chicago, and mainly just due to some recent play and such as well. So let's kind of go through the numbers. So when I look up here, the model is mixed. So it's basically saying it's even. Then when I come down here to the scores, again, it gives just a slight advantage to the scores. But what I would point out, so I can come over here to the hypothesis test, is it is not conclusive, which tells me I could run this test several hundred more times, and those numbers are going to move a little bit, but they're always going to be right there in about that middle. Now, when I do come down here, and you're going to say, hey, why are you ignoring the Bayesian? It's not that I'm ignoring it. I'm not going to take it because I think that there's some other factors that come into play here. First off, Justin Fields has been back. It looks like that the Bears are getting more of their starters back, and they're playing well. So it's got to do more with that recency of play, and you see that in their last 2 games. They're starting to get back. And then, not to mention, there is nothing I think a Chicago team who is poised to get the #1 draft pick and a really, depending on your perspective, really good trade from the Bears with Carolina last year to trade down and get picks, or really bad trade for Carolina because they whiffed on that one. But with that, I see some good solid numbers over here with Chicago. But some of the things I've also noticed is it shows that passing rank is really bad. That's because after that, Justin Fields, they just didn't have anyone there. So that really took a hit. But Justin Fields is the key to that offense. And so with that, Green Bay's been playing well as also. But I'm more inclined to think that that overall, I think the model is probably going to be that raw number there. So I could completely see this being a 2-point game either way, and I don't think that anything the Bears would rather do than spoil it for Green Bay. Let's take a look at some of the performance numbers here. So certainly Jordan Love has been passing the ball pretty good, also showing that the the Bears are going to rush. So depending on the weather, and so it's going to be cold in Green Bay and in Chicago. Both of these teams are used to it. That will probably make the passing harder. That will favor the running game. And then I would also point out that the passing game here, I think, will probably be better just based upon the fact that Justin Fields is a more proficient passer than any of the backups that they've had in this year. Coming over here to the right, you see some relatively good numbers when it comes to protecting Jordan Love over here, and I think that's the reason why they've been playing pretty well. But these interceptions, that is not going to bode well. If he's going to go out there into a big game and start slinging it around like he's Brett Favre, I think that they're going to be packing up and going home. But they do have some explosiveness over here. But then when you come down here at Chicago, they've got about the same level of explosiveness. I'm certainly seeing more of the sacks here, and that's probably got to do with some of their injury issues that they had as well. And then when I come over here to the left, so again, this is a new chart that I added. This is actuals. This is not from the model. This is actuals, just to kind of give you some basis for what you're looking at. So on the left here, and I'll update these to improve these slides. But what you see over here is the Bears' offense versus their defense. And then the same thing over here then with Green Bay. So you definitely see with the box plot, you see that big deviation. That just shows you that they've been all over the place this year. They can have really good games, you can have really bad games. That's what I see from that. But what I also see is an offense that and a defense which is right about league average, and then a more consistent level of play over here from Green Bay, and they're also right around average. So realistically speaking, I'm thinking that this should be a pretty even game, just based upon what the model's saying, and then looking at just their overall how they've matched up. So this should, even though the Bears are not in a playoff picture, this should be a fun game to watch. So if you like what you listen to, click like and subscribe. Got a question, comment, drop me a note.